Hey guys, Mike back again. Right, so I'm looking in the fridge and I'm like, what have we got here? Want to try and use up some stuff, so I've got some salmon left from yesterday. Nice little salmon fillet, which I'm going to break up. I've got some potatoes. I have some spring onions that need using up. They get a little bit overripe there. And then I found a little bit of, still in the bag there, what I got yesterday. Some nice cilantro. So, what can I make? Well, if I add a little bit of chilli to that, I'm thinking some sort of salmon fish cake. That should do the job. So, we'll get cracking on with that one. We'll see how we do.
Right now, technically about 28, but it's been around a lot longer than that. Long enough to have shilled for Barnum, and he gave me some. What's that? At first I thought it was a scam. Then I tried one of the spells and it worked. In fact, they all worked. So when I got to the end and there was one for immortality,
My God, Charlie, can you show the things that I can do?
different spell. It gives you a little taste of what's possible. Oh no, I wouldn't touch those furniture. They're still radioactive.
You killed the damn subject.
Right, you think this is a parlor game? You were being humiliated by this promise. A washed up old man who can defend himself?
Use me to do these terrible things.
I used them to give you a gift. And you wanted to change. I saw it in your eyes.
No, I never wanted this.
You were ready to kill yourself. I saved your life.
So I changed.
I was there for you, like I've always been. Like I'll always be. Come with me, both of you. You think the first time around was good, the second time's even better. All we know how none of the aches and pain.
No, I won't do this. I won't.
I'm gonna make this offer before I'm living in with my best friends like the two of you. Let me do this for you.
And who else has to die so that we can live forever? What's the price tag on immortality? This isn't right, Charlie, what you're doing. You know that. Somewhere, you know that.
I know I don't want to come back alone. To start all over again.
See, you can be young again.
The three of us together, vital and alive. Forever.
Not so fast! I am doing burglars in the cocoon. Immortality. It's a neat trick.
That's not right. It's magic. Hey, bullet catch. Been working on that. Just leave me and my friends alone.
I said now!
Alright, I will give it up. The spells, the hexes, this is the last time, I promise. Like these strangers knowing me.
So, just quickly peeled them. We're just going to cut these into more manageable pieces for boiling, and then we'll just throw them into some hot salted water. And then once they are boiled, nice and soft, we will mash them up. You can use a masher or you can use a ricer, which is what I will be using. So there we have it, something along them lines. So we'll just throw them into our water. Careful not to splash yourself. And if you've got a good tabletop, make sure you put something down to protect it. You don't want to be burning your countertops. So we'll have that in there. Great one. Right, that'll go onto the hob now. Probably give that about 15 minutes till they're soft. And I'll get back to you in a minute. So whilst we're waiting for our potatoes to boil, I'm just going to quickly shred these spring onions. Just forgive my technique. As I've said many times now, I have arthritis in my hands, so I do the best I can. I do have to be careful, because with me having arthritis, sometimes I don't have no sensation, so it is difficult, and I may just end up cutting myself and won't even know about it. But we keep marching on. That should do. We'll put them in our bowl. So we do have to be careful. I've just sharpened my knives as well, so these are very, very sharp. That's another video I'm going to share soon. And we'll break off a nice chunk of our cilantro. Personally speaking, I think I do very well for somebody with arthritis. I have that in my bowl as well right now. So please let me know what sort of videos you would like to watch. But next I'm going to flake my fish and we'll get that in there. So I'm just going to remove the skin. Don't need that for this particular dish. Should have done this when it was still warm, would have been a bit easier. That's good. We'll just break this down. Right, and as I break through this, I'm just watching, make sure that there's no bones left in here. Better safe than sorry. There's always the possibility of that odd one or two. If you'd like to leave a comment on what it is I'm doing, if I'm doing it wrong, if there's anything I can add to a recipe, or anything you think I should take away, please, as I've said before, let me know. I do love interacting with my subscribers. And I'm over 600 now, I'm approaching the 1,000. Once I get to that 1,000, there will be something from my kitchen, or something that I will use in my kitchen, I will be giving away. So, there we have it. That's all broken up nicely. I am a big believer in cleaning up as you go, but I'm just going to put a twist of salt in there now. This is just our seasoning. I like black pepper. I love black pepper on just about everything. I've got a mix here. There's red, there's black. Peppercorns. We have some paprika. This is like a little bit smokiness. And then I have some cayenne pepper. Just a heavy teaspoon or so. Some garlic powder. Half teaspoon. And some onion powder. If I can get the jar open. Same there. And then we're just going to give that a good mix around, just to start our combination before we start putting our potatoes in there. I mean, you could almost eat that like it is. Warm that through in a pan, let them spices get cooked off a little bit, maybe throw some egg in there, or well, I'm not sure what else could we put in there. I could make it into a wrap. Almost like a nice extra salady piece, I guess. But that's nice and mixed now. So that one will do for that until our potatoes are ready. I almost forgot. I'm going to put some lemon rind in. I've got this very nice grater. We just want the yellow, try not to get any white in because that's a little bit bitter. Just a couple of scrapes from half a lemon. Make sure it all comes off. We'll get all that in there. Beautiful. And while we're on, I'll just move that to one side. I do have a small piece of ginger here as well. Which I just want to slice up. I could have grated it in, I guess, but would have been easier for me. But sometimes I forget things. I'm getting old. That's my excuse anyway. That should do us nicely. All these flavours coming together. Absolutely taste explosion in the mouth. What was it Guy Fieri used to say? Flavour Town. And some sriracha for my chili element, because unfortunately I don't have no chilies. So this is definitely getting into the areas where we needed to be for flavour. And don't forget to keep back some of that cilantro for sprinkling on afterwards. Now I'm not quite sure yet whether I'm going to do a fish cake or whether I'll do like fish balls. I think the fish balls might be a little bit better. But as we go with this, keep breaking up that salmon. That should be fantastic. So there we have it, ladies and gents. My potatoes all nicely boiled up. See if I can find a nice spoon to use. So this is my potato ricer. Basically it's got small holes in the bottom if you've not seen one of these before. And then a little plunger that pushes everything through. So I'm just going to put a few in at a time. Don't want to overload it. And then basically push that through. You always get a little bit of backwash. I must admit this was the only inexpensive one. I do believe it was from Superstore. So get that in place again. As you can see, it can make a bit of a mess, but at the same time it's much quicker for doing your potatoes. If you've got two bowls or two pans, it's a little bit easier, so you're not having to kind of re-go over things. But do this while the potatoes hot. But then we will let the potato cool before it goes in with the salmon. Otherwise we're going to get a horrible mess. But just keep on going with that one. So there's our potatoes. I'm just going to add seasoning to these. The more flavours we can get in there, the better. Just a little twist of salt, we don't want too much. And just give that a good mix around. As you can see, the rice makes a very, excuse me, the chili's getting to me a little bit. But the rice makes a very smooth potato, ideal for when we're mixing potato cake or fish ball, anything like that. Absolutely fantastic for my mind. So we just need to wait till that cools down now, and then we'll combine everything and start making our fish ball. Hey guys, right then, so my potato has nicely cooled down, so I'm just going to start spooning that into my salmon mixture, which I've had in the fridge. Try not to leave any fish out for too long, especially if you have a warm house. We're just going to start combining this all together. Get these last few bits in. We're just going to start mixing that around. I might be a bit heavy on the potato here, but still make a nice flavour fish ball. We just want all of them flavours to run through, so I want this well mixed. If you have yourself a mixer, like a stand mixer, you can put kind of like a, I guess the dough hook, what we would use for bread on there, and that would mix that up nicely. But you can also do what I'm going to do now, and just get your hands in there. Make sure you wash them first. Just keep mixing that around. You can wear gloves. It's a nice rubber glove. Very expensive. You buy like a box of 50 or whatever. Or you get I know, I'm not sure if I've never bought them from the dollar store, but I don't know whether they're any good or not. And if you notice, I've using some rubber matting now to stop my cutting board from sliding around. But this is a nice soft mix. And see if it holds together. If it seems a little bit too wet, it depends what you want to do. If you want to make a fish cake or you want to make a fish ball. But that seems very good. But if it seems a little bit too wet, you can put a teaspoon, or rather a tablespoon or so, of flour in there, all purpose. But like I say, the reality is, if we're making fish ball, we will do something like this. Just roll that one round. Just form them up. A little bit smaller than a golf ball. Something like that should do the trick. I mean, if you really want to get fussy about it, you can go and get yourself the scale out and you can weigh them one at a time. Make sure they're all the same. I mean, if you want, you can take this out, roll it on a board so you have a large sausage and then just cut pieces off. Which I can kind of give you an idea. So if you get yourself a bigger piece out, make a ball. This might be a little bit soft for doing this with. You want to flour the board, ideally. Yeah, you do. It's not quite good enough for the. I need a non-stick surface, but you get the idea, and then you can just cut them off into where you want, or just break them off, roll them up, go from there, and vice versa. If it's too dry, you can drop an egg in that. And that will help it bind together beautifully. Hi guys, well, back again. So I had a kind of change of heart there, and I've put about 3 tablespoons of flour in with this now, so it's not as sticky and wet as it was. And I'm going to use an ice cream scoop. So I can just do a scoop, drop it on the paper, and then we'll fall into a nice little ball. They're a good size. That way you don't need to have too many, but make sure your scoop is full. Drop them out. Pick up the little bits that fall off. I'm just going to roll them around nicely. As you can see, it's not leaving anything on my hands now, whereas before it was a little bit too sticky. And the ice cream scoop helps us keep them uniform. So you're not going to get your family members saying, hey, they got bigger ones than me. Why have they got more than me? You know that one works. I'm lucky there's only me and my lady here at the moment. It'd be nice if I had the rest of my family. But he's in England at university. Smart kid. Much smarter than what his dad is. So you can see, we're just dropping them off quick. You don't need to drop them on the paper, just straight into your hand. And if you feel like your hands are getting sticky, rub a little bit of flour on there. The important thing is, we'll try and get these done as quick as possible. Now you've got a choice once you've done this. We can either fry them, or we can roll them in flour, cover them in egg, and then coat them in breadcrumb. But I think this is enough calorie. This should be fun. We'll cook them so they're nice and golden brown. We'll make a nice sweet chili dipping sauce. Something along them lines. Have it with a nice salad. Any ideas? Let me know. So you can see it's very simple, very basic. Like I said, you can always make them adjustments before you start making. So you can have a little bit more flour, or you can add an egg if it's too dry. And if the egg makes it too wet, then go ahead, put some flour in. Just try not to do too much, otherwise you're just going to end up with bread. So I'll keep on with that one. I'll get back to you soon. And there we go, guys. Sorry about the shaky camera. That's all the fish balls done. If you notice, I've tried a couple of different ways here. I've put more flour on my hands for some of them. So these ones here have a nice coating of flour. Now I'm just going to try and see which works better. When I fry them, do they look more golden with flour or without? So that's a little test we're going to have. And we'll see how that one works out. And I'll let you know how it goes. But just a reminder, we're not going to cook them straight away. We have to put them in the fridge and let them chill for 30 to 60 minutes. We'll give a half hour to an hour and then we'll go from there. Hey guys, Mike back again. Well, time to cook our fish ball. So I've kept to one side a little bit of the fish ball just so we can test our oil to see if it's hot enough. So right now, not hot enough. Needs a little bit more heat there. So I will just pull that one back out and we'll leave that and wait a little bit longer. So I'll give that another few minutes. It feels better. If you've got a thermometer, that would help. You can use that, or if you've actually got an electric deep fat fryer, which I do have, but I'm not going to use. So there's the little ball in there. That's looking better now. Yep, I can start putting them in. So just gently take it easy. We don't want to overcrowd the pan. If you've got too many, we'll do them in a couple of batches. Yeah, definitely doing these in 2 batches. That's 10 in there. Right, so 11 in each batch. Just make sure they're not touching one another. And we'll just keep them moving around. Take that out of there now. I'll just keep coming back to them. Well, we're coming on nicely there now. These are just about done. With everything being cooked, everything's cooked already. All we're really doing is putting a bit of colour on the outside and then getting that inside warm through a little bit. If you want, you can make these flat and then they will cook a little bit quicker. I just want to get that nice crispy coat on the outside. So some of these are getting a little bit too much done, but I've turned the pan down a little bit now, so that'll be better. But, yep, some of these are ready to come out. Beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and put my second batch in. If you notice, I just kind of roll them down the side of the pan. Try to avoid splashing and make sure they move away from me. So my good lady has a friend who was cooking and was splashed with the oil, and she had to have skin grafts all around her arms. It looked horrendous. Not something I would wish to endure, that's for sure. But we're going to cook these ones a little bit slower with a lower heat. They're the ones I've taken out already. They're looking pretty good. You can see they are a little bit dark, but still look fantastic. With a little bit of chilli sauce going on with them, a little bit of lettuce or something, a bit of rice, fantastic. And there's the second batch coming on nicely. And so just keep them moving. These are cooking a lot better now that I've reduced the heat a little bit. So I say just keep them things moving around. We don't want to stick to each other and we don't want to stick to the bottom of the pan. But we're almost there. And there we are, guys. That's them all cooked nicely. Nothing sticking together. All nice and fluffy on the inside. So time to take them out. We'll get the heat off and I'll remove them from the pan. So I'll just get these get a few more out. Need to make some more space. Just let them drain on a little bit of kitchen paper, whatever you've got, as long as it's clean. These are nice and soft, so be careful with them, otherwise they may come apart on you. But we're just going to put them to one side to drain and then we'll plate up. Well, there we go, guys, plated up nicely. I'm just going to put a little bit of cilantro all around. Just that extra. So I've got some nice dipping sauce there, which is basically mayonnaise and some sriracha, 2 to 1 in favour of the mayonnaise. But that's looking fantastic now. Time to dive in. Enjoy. Remember, please, like